Hey friends, I have some really bad news about Notability. At least at the time of this recording, 3 days ago, Notability released their newest update, Notability 11, and guys, it's not good. It's pretty bad. And by the end of this video, I think you'll understand why I can no longer recommend Notability to new users. And this is a really big deal because if you've seen any of my iPad Pro note-taking videos in the past, I have always recommended Notability. Out of all the other apps, I have always stuck with Notability because I thought they have the greatest user interface, the greatest user experience, and just a fantastic note-taking software for anyone to use to easily jump into and basically just take notes and work efficiently. But after their latest update that they have announced, like I said, 3 days ago, it's something that I just can't recommend anymore for new users. I can barely recommend it for current users, and I think it's just best that we just go in and talk about everything that's changing. So the biggest change is that Notability is now going to be a free app on the app stores. You don't have to pay anything to download it, but if you actually want to use it for what it offers, you're gonna have to pay a subscription every year. And there are pretty significant differences between the free version, so the no subscription version of the app, and the subscription, and what kind of features you can get. So let's just pull it up and go over what these features are. So in the starter version of the app, where you just get the app for free and you don't have to pay a subscription every year, you get limited note edits, you only get basic paper templates, you can only select 3 favorite tools, and I guess that's all fine. The biggest problem I think is the limited note edits, because that's really strange why you can only edit your notes a limited amount of time, so it kind of defeats the purpose of taking notes. But even that being aside, the biggest features that you won't be getting now in this free version are iCloud sync across devices, which is something that I use a lot, and now we won't be able to sync your device, your notes on your iPad to like your phone or your Mac. You will get rid of the handwriting recognition feature. You won't have auto backup, which is a really basic feature that should not have to be paid for at all, but you'll be losing that, and you'll be losing math conversion, which is fine. I think like if you had to pay for math conversion, I don't think many people would be upset. I don't think that's a big deal. Whereas if you try to get the subscription, which by the way is $15 a year, you get unlimited note edits, premium paper templates, you can have 12 favorite tools, you have iCloud sync, you have handwriting recognition, you have auto backup, math conversion, and then you get the regularly updated planners, stickers, themes, journals, etc. Now, let me be clear, $15 a year is not that much money for a subscription. And I think for something like Notability, which is a really powerful tool, it's like not a terrible deal to pay $15 a year for something like that. The problem is that there are comparable note-taking apps out there. Some may even argue that these competitors are better, and you just have to pay a base price of like $8 or whatever, and you get all the features that you want, like how Notability used to be. The other problem is the way that they announced this and how they initially excluded users who already paid for Notability in the past from all of these features without a subscription. So basically what they said was that everyone, regardless if you had paid for Notability or not, will now have to pay a subscription in order to get access to the premium features, or just the features that we should have access to anyway. Now, they rolled that back a couple of days ago because they decided that they didn't want users who had already paid for Notability to have to pay a subscription. So I bought Notability years ago, so I don't have to get the subscription to get those features. I'm automatically grandfathered in. Whereas if you haven't used Notability or paid for it at all, you would have to pay a subscription to get those features. Now, I should be happy, and I am happy that I got grandfathered in. I think that's great. I get to continue using Notability like nothing is happening, right? I just get the updates. I don't have to worry about paying subscription. Everything is great. The problem is this kind of created a big breach of trust between the users and Ginger Labs, which is the company that makes Notability, because they threw this on us all of a sudden, and then they got significant backlash for not grandfathering users who had paid for Notability in the past into their new program. And so, seeing that backlash, Notability decided to include us. But the problem is that we don't know if Notability will kind of turn on us again in the future. There's no guarantee now that we'll be grandfathered in for every update in the future. there's always now this kind of lingering doubt that are we actually going to always get access to the features? Because we paid for the app a long time ago. We did pay for it. We should be automatically getting these features. We shouldn't have to now suddenly pay a yearly fee in order to use the features that we've been enjoying. And there are some rumors that maybe Notability breached the App Store contract with making users who had paid for the app in the past having to pay subscription, which is why they rolled back on that decision. But regardless, even though I am able to continue using Notability, I am looking at GoodNotes now as my primary note-taking app. And it is going to be the note-taking app that I'm going to recommend for everyone from now on. So if you have never used a note-taking app before and you're now asked my opinion, GoodNotes and Notability, it doesn't make sense for anyone to have to pay $15 a year for Notability when GoodNotes is almost as good as Notability for my use case. A lot of people are really big fans of GoodNotes and they think it's better. I still think Notability is a little bit better in terms of usability for what my work case looks like. But if I have to recommend one, it's obviously GoodNotes now. They are actually reducing the price once Notability released their news. They reduced their price temporarily, so you should definitely jump on that if you can. I think it's a fantastic note-taking app. I don't daily GoodNotes like I do Notability. Notability is my daily note-taking app, so I'm just much more familiar with that. But I think I will be making the transition to GoodNotes 5 based on this recent news from Notability. And I hope in the future, Notability and Ginger Labs can look at this and learn from it and try to regain my trust at least. But there's too much ambiguity in the future of Notability, I think at this point, that I don't think I can use it as my main note-taking app. Luckily, I don't have to make any huge transitions now. I can slowly ease into GoodNotes, but I think that is a move I'm going to be making in the future. And yeah, I can't recommend Notability, and it hurts my heart a lot because I was such a strong proponent of Notability, but unfortunately things change, companies change, and we just have to adapt and learn how to deal with that. So let me know what you guys think about this new update from Notability. Aside from this big change, there are some cool features coming down the pike, so I am interested to see how those features are going to work. There's more templates, a better page organizer. There's still a lot of features that I think Notability needs to add to their software to make it a much better experience that GoodNotes has and other note-taking apps have. Maybe I can make an updated Notability wish list in the future, but let me know what you guys think of these updates. Do you prefer GoodNotes? Do you prefer Notability? Which one are you going to choose now? Or do you prefer something else like OneNote or NoteShelf? There are so many options out there. I'm interested to hear what you have to say, but that's about it. Thank you guys so much for watching, and I will see you in the next video.